Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble. It's a very special episode this week as we are here in 4K. We are still the show where you come for your rambling geeky download, and I am still your co-host, Tommy, and I am delighted to be joined by my friend and co-host who is across the pond. It is our resident missing child of the pod, DL. How are you, mate?
I'm good, dude.
You're here. I can see you.
Yeah, I'm in a very, very plain room. Missing. Who knows how long I've been here? Come help.
You've just been standing, staring at a wall.
Yeah. There's an obvious open window. Could come out, but what are you wearing, dude?
I'm glad this came up early enough so that I could take it off immediately. For any of our listeners who've been here longer than 15 seconds, how long we've been recording, you may or may not remember, I made a promise to you, DL, and I always confirm my promises, that I would wear my Japanese kimono the first time we did video. So here it is. What do you think? Do you like it?
I do.
Do you think I've appropriated enough culture?
I was going to say, what was the tactical, like, hey, this will come out in this event? Like when did you plan on, what was your envisioned showing of the kimono?
The kimono is literally for our apartment. You know this. I don't know. There's too much information. Our apartment gets super hot in summer. If you can't tell, I live in Sydney, as you know. And it just gets so hot that like I end up just stripping off all my clothes. And my partner's just like, you can't just sit around naked all the time.
I thought you just wore it when you got Japanese food.
Well, I do that too. I like to appropriate many of the cultures. How are you, mate? How you been? What are you wearing?
I was just trying to match your energy, to be honest. I got this little vest at a place, a little thrift store in Mexico City. God knows
I love
how
that.
you're supposed to wear it, but I've yet to figure out an outfit for it. But you know, there's always Taco Tuesday. I guess I could just try that.
You're gonna go to Burning Man one day in your life, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody has to go to Burning Man once in their life. Everyone has to be that
like
guy.
once you go once, you become like indoctrinated into the cult.
Oh my god! I have one of my best friends who lives in Melbourne. Literally, his whole personality changed for like a year. It was like it's all he spoke about for like an entire year. He was like, "Oh, and then you there's no like money there. You've got to like hand over." And I'm like, "Who are you? You've changed, mate." It's so good to be back. It's so good to see you. I'm going to take this off. I'm sorry, I can't sit around wearing a kimono. I feel like I've appropriated enough culture. We're back, baby. Mate, it was so good to see you in Europe.
Yeah, that was actually not too long ago.
Doesn't that feel like an absolute age ago?
I was on like 4 planes since then, but yeah.
You've not sat still.
Yeah, that was a great little trip. We were literally one with King's Landing, one with
we know.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Great place. Highly recommend.
You did the shame steps.
We did do the shame steps. And I did bring a
You got the cowbell.
App.
You promised me. We're living up to so many promises, dear listeners. If you are new to Podcast Assemble, please go back and check out some of our just audio episodes because there are so many promises that have been made and coming to fruition.
We're delivering here.
Right now, baby. The Game of Thrones tour, man. I'm so glad we managed to convince our partners to do it. I know we talked about whether it was going to be difficult, whether we could maybe just talk them around. They seemed pretty chill about doing it. I was expecting to get some pushback from my beautiful partner.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's bored by history, so she's like, maybe throw in some fake history. Yeah. That'd be perfect.
Spice it up. Throw a little bit of spice.
It up with some lies. Yeah, dude, it was a good trip. I mean, we saw the spots, the old town. What else did we do?
Man, so good. Where Joffrey was named king. That one building had so much of Game of Thrones in it, and then you could see all of King's Landing from it. It was fascinating. Our tour guide, though, loved her. Totally forgotten her name. She was insanely enthusiastic about Game of Thrones.
It's not like you didn't. Yeah, I could have predicted that. You're running a tour.
She was a full stan
on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Did she say she actually made a cameo, or did she just get down to see the actual filming?
I think she just saw
it.
I think she was just there. Got to watch the filming.
She was a full stand for it. It was good fun. She was, although it's so funny whenever we're like flicking through photos or we're showing people pictures of our trip, we always get to those pictures of us where she asked us to hold up like the flags from like the different houses, and we're like, my God, that was the most awkward moment.
I wanted to jump off the top of King's Landing, dude.
I know.
I was in the Red Keep at the top, and I wanted to just like literally throw myself off like
Full
Tommen. Just
just step over the edge.
just dude, what else is new?
Man, that trip feels like a lifetime ago. We've been back for 2 weeks, and I've been you know, when you, like, get full cold dunked headfirst back into work, I'm just like, "Huh, I'm back. I'm here." Literally, we touched down on the Sunday. The Monday, I'd taken off to do, like, the shit you need to do when you get back. I need to buy groceries and do some washing and all that stuff just to get my head back in the game because the jet lag was pretty severe this one time. And I got a text off one of my colleagues who was like, "Hey, by the way, we have an event starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Do you think you should come in for this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I have to come in for this. My customers are there." So literally, I didn't get any downtime. I was full prepping all day for this bloody event. And like head first, cold water. I was like, "Haha, I'm back, guys. I'm here. Hello."
Yeah.
I looked awful. So many people were like, "Oh, how's the jet lag?" I'm like, "Are you trying to tell me something? Are you trying to tell me I look tired?"
It's just part of the gig.
And you haven't stopped moving either, have you?
No, I've been doing a bunch of reading because I've been on plane all the time. So I
Ooh.
do that in a bit. Yeah.
When we get to what you've been up to, I have some reading things to talk about. Something that I
Okay.
was reading while we were away that you've been wanting to talk to me about for a while and may or may not be
Yeah.
somewhere in this little region right behind me here if you're one of our video listeners.
I noticed as soon as you got videos, you like look all nice now.
Why not? Why would I need
I
to
don't
look nice
know.
when it's just audio?
It's
I noticed you haven't worn your serial killer glasses.
well, to be honest, I rarely wear those even when we do pod,
That's
but it's
true.
only when I'm not trying to like stay awake after, because like I don't want to have
Okay,
this,
okay.
the blue light or whatever. And
Totally.
right now, I'll take all the blue light. Just give it into me
Just
through
give
the
it to me.
eyes because I'm a bit tired. Just put it
Inject
right
into
in.
my veins.
But have you been doing anything? A lot of flying. Have you been watching anything or only just reading? Yeah.
I've actually got a ton of stuff I want to talk to you about in just a moment. I think the book I read while I was away, which we will talk about in a minute, was great. But hang on, hold that thought for just 1 second. Guys, if you want to find us, if you want to skip around, you can. You can skip around the time codes below, which are, as always, supplied by Mr. Matthew Bliss of mbpod.com. And way down there, give us a 5-star review. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're new to us, if you've never seen our faces and you're happy to see them and you're going, "That's what you look like," you can always hit that subscribe and give us a nice comment or a 5-star review. We don't, God, what are their faces? We don't know how algorithms work. So, but we know it helps. So please, please, please give us those things. We are still here with our nerdy nonsense, and you will be able to see our faces from now on. This is how we look. DL, what have you been up to? Or should I start with my thing that I was just prefacing a moment ago?
Let's just get into Lightbringer.
Oof. Let's do. Oh, you want to do Lightbringer first? You want to do Lightbringer first? Okay,
Isn't that
all
what
right,
you
all right.
finished?
I did finish Lightbringer.
Well, what else were you talking about?
Well, I was gonna do a little game for you called "Which of these plane movies do you think I watched on the flight over to Europe?"
Okay.
So,
Yeah, let's do that one.
on screen now, I will send this to Mr. Matthew Bliss. There will be a screenshot of all of the movies which I watched on the way over there. So here you go, DL. I'm just gonna read them out to you. I watched 2 of these. There were more. There were obviously more, but this is just the first screen of it. So you can either choose between the Minecraft movie, Thunderbolts, a movie I've literally never heard of called Hurry Up Tomorrow, The Accountant 2, The Accountant, I don't know how you say that, Nonnas, The Legend of Ochi, Winter, Spring, Summer, or Fall, Lily, I don't even know what half of these are, Borrowed Time, Mickey 17, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, Alto Nights, which I have seen, which is bad, The Amateur, Penguin Lessons, Locked, or Snow White, the remake.
That's too many options.
Isn't it? There was so we had a weird time. So on one flight on the way there, we had so many options. This many options. I'll just text it to you, and you can look at it while we're
Okay.
rambling around. There was so many options that it was genuinely hard to like grab what I wanted to watch. So I ended up falling back on something, and then on the way back, there were none. The plane was from like 1954, and instead of
God.
like a screen in front of us, there was just a newspaper, and you had to sit there and scroll through and talk like you're from the 50s. You were talking like this guy. So it was an interesting time. So I just sent you that screenshot. Now, which of those movies do you think, you know me, which of these do you think was the movies that I watched? 2 of them.
Oh, only 2. I have to pick from 2. And this is a
It's a
long
long ass
flight,
list.
so I don't know what the hell you did for the rest of it. Um,
Other things. Reading, as we're about to talk about.
yeah, look, I'm gonna say maybe The Legend of Ochi,
Interesting choice.
only because I watched it. I mean, like, you've seen some of these already, so I don't think you'd watch them
Doesn't
again.
mean I won't rewatch a movie.
Then I would probably say either that it's gonna be between Mickey 17 and the Thunderbolts, and I would probably give it to Mickey 17.
Oh, you are wrong on both accounts. So I went for one I'd already watched and one that I hadn't watched. So I watched Thunderbolts. You were very close there. I
Oh,
did
yeah.
rewatch Thunderbolts because honestly, I just needed something that was like comforting and like a nice hug. And the other one I watched was The Amateur, which is Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne, and is bad. Categorically, just not a good
Well,
movie.
that guy is not in a lot of good movies.
I don't know what it is. I just can't. I just can't. I don't find him that funny. I don't find him like he's a decent actor. He was really good in that. What was
Queen
that
or
movie
whatever.
he did where he was a hacker, Mr. Robot?
It's not a show.
Yeah, he watched the he did that, and that was apparently really good. But I can't. I just can't. I don't find him that good. Is that just me?
Yeah.
Am I on a limb here, or am I dying on a hill that I shouldn't be dying on?
No, I don't really like anything he's been in since, like, Queen and apparently that show's good. I haven't seen it, so
Bohemian Rhapsody.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't think oh, yeah, I have seen that, I have seen that. It was alright. My favorite story about that film is very, very much that was supposed we've talked about this a million times. Sacha Baron Cohen was originally gonna do that film. He was signed up to do the film, and then he had a meeting with Queen, and Queen were like, Brian May, etcetera, all of the band. They were like, "So the first half of the movie is the Freddie Mercury story, and the second half of the movie is everything after Freddie Mercury." And Sacha Baron Cohen looked at them and was like, what happened after Freddie Mercury? There isn't a Queen. So he left the project because they were like adamant it was going to be this. So then eventually, obviously, it evolved and it became what it is today, which is literally pretty much just the Freddie Mercury story with Queen there too. So yeah, I mean, that's how Rami Malek ended up on that movie, which is super interesting. Is there anything you've been up to? You said you've been reading.
Yeah, I read through, basically, I mean, like, the last 100 pages of The Wheel of Time.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. Oh yeah, you were reading that.
I just was I reading it on our holiday? I just started it, maybe.
You just started. You were like 50
Yeah.
pages in.
Yeah, I got through a cheeky 700 something.
It's a
Um,
tome, man. That's a big ass book.
yeah, it's a big book.
The
It's a big
Bab.
book.
The BAB, baby.
And it's very, like, Lord of
I
the
don't know why I said that.
Rings-esque in
Yeah, right.
I'll take it. I
I'm
just ignored
delirious
it.
this morning. It's like 7 AM. Yeah, you just skated
I
past that
just get just like
weirdness.
yada, yada, yada.
To be fair,
The
Lightbringer is a Bab.
Yeah, it is, but, like, those books read faster than this one.
Oh, so right.
This this one's a traditional fantasy for sure. It's a lot. It reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings in a great way.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
but I wonder, you going from, like, it's like a more modern Lord of the Rings, it takes a lot from it.
It modernizes it, does it? It gives it like a different perspective.
It's just not as, like, clearly written in whenever
Interesting.
Lord of the Rings was written. Like, that it's kinda, like, tamer, everything's a bit more they're singing songs, like, I don't know, it's just tonally, it feels a bit more updated. I think it was still written in the '70s, but, that's not, like, post World War II.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Lord of the Rings has got so many like environmental and political themes to it. It's so much more of a deeper view of the world than I think people give it credit for sometimes.
Mm. This has that, but it's also slow and plodding and, like, a lot of travel. Like,
Okay.
it is basically a big trip.
So it's like Game of Thrones mixed with a bit of Lord of the Rings.
More Lord of the Rings than Game of Thrones.
In space. Okay.
Not in space, no, very much on the ground. It's like it's honestly like a Lord of the Rings, but, like, more expanded and, a little bit modern taste, and I like
Okay.
it a lot. What I was gonna say is it does I wonder if, like, I know you read Lord of the Rings, I know you love the original movies. I
Mm.
wonder if you read this book, if it's just nostalgia that keeps those going, and now that you have something that is also similar to it, But years later and post a Red Rising read or a Pierce Brown read, will you still have the patience for a book like this? I'm curious if you will.
It's a really good question.
Because there's moments where like I was like, let's go, come on. But there's moments where I loved it. I loved the slow potting as well. So it just kind of depended on my mood, I guess. But I really enjoyed it. I'm not even done yet. I still have like the climax that's about to come, I think. But it's a good one. I recommend.
So I made the mistake of watching the TV show before I got into any of the books. So I probably watched maybe 3 episodes of it, and it is absolute garbage. It is terrible. Like I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I've heard it improves as it carries on. So apparently it gets better. Who would have guessed?
I think
But
they canceled it though.
it might even be cancelled at this point. I know
Yeah.
they changed out like the lead character. They gender swapped, and I'm totally fine for things like, you know us. We're a very progressive podcast. I don't mind gender swapping in any form or any of the changing things for the better if it's the right casting. But apparently in the books, and you can tell me now, like apparently in the books, the magic system is quite strongly linked to gender and specifics about people.
It's definitely an odd thing to change.
Yeah, right. So, and then they made the magic system quite homogenous, quite like generic, which didn't which kind of takes away part of the core of the concept in the books, right? What is the differentiator if you take that away? Like it's just a generic hero story.
Yeah, the prologue is like, I still don't know really the context of it beyond it, but it's like somebody, and because of the prologue, I feel okay saying this,
Yeah,
like the
right.
male character using magic and going insane.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really? That's a bummer, dude. I would think you should try. It's a good
Okay.
book, and I would not let the show determine that. That's why I didn't watch the show because I heard it was rough, and so I
Right.
was
Okay.
like, I don't want to be tainted, to use
Hang
a
on.
word from the book.
I'll show you what I'm currently reading. Hang on. Wait there. Little show and tell. This is what I'm currently reading. Empire of Silence. I'm never going to pronounce his last name right. Christopher Ruccio. There you go. That's the best I can do. I'm probably 10 chapters in, maybe more, maybe 12. It's a real slow start, man. Real fucking slow start. Like it's good. Like I'm sort of enjoying it so far. And apparently, like the series is really awesome, but it is really cranking that dial to get it started. And I'm not in yet. And I think part of the problem I've had is I haven't had a lot of time to just sit and read. So I've done a bit of like audio booking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the guy's voice doing the audiobook, so it's really why it's
Problem.
getting me real hard. Yeah, I know.
That's a big problem when that happens.
I keep taking little notes, like I'm stealing from everyone's habits, but I'm taking
Mm.
like little notes of stuff that I want to bring into my own writing, little bits of like description. Some of his descriptions of stuff are fantastic. He does like amazing, quite deep descriptions, to the point where it goes a bit over. Like, so there's a chapter which is predominantly description, and I'm like, I really like this. You're doing like a fantastic job in building a lore and a backstory, but at the same time, I'm like, could this have been like 5 sentences? You know what I mean? Instead of a full chapter.
Totally.
It's good, but so like the Wheel of Time. Sorry, going back to your original point, like you'd recommend?
Yeah, I think you should try and read it, man. I wouldn't let the show, especially if you love Lord of the Rings, which you do, because it is like such an ode, and it does add. It adds elements. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I don't want the show to have ruined it for me, but
3 episodes in, you can't have gotten that far, dude.
uh,
Especially if they switch the character gender, like it's you'll be fine.
they changed a lot of it. I'll probably come around to it at some point. I think I've got a lot of good book recommendations going for it in a minute. I've got a couple of books I also want to read first. So, but I'll put it on the list. Thank you for the recommendation. Talking of books, shall we talk about Lightbringer? I know you've been itching to do this for a long time. I know you've been itching. You're like an addict. You're like, please just talk to me about this goddamn book.
Did you how do you feel about your prediction?
Which one? Because I made a lot of weird ones as we were reading and going through.
At one point you were just like, you had just finished Dark Age, and you said, I'm going to stop right now and tell anyone that is about to hear us talk to stop. If you want, honestly, just stop. If you haven't read Red Rising, do not stop. Do not listen, because like I want you to read it unspoiled. So you've had your warning.
And for anyone who's new to this show, we are a little obsessed with this Red Rising series. It's
Good series, man.
a modern. If you don't know by now, feel free to skip around. As I say, there's time codes in the description. You'll know to do this, but skip around there. It's a modern sci-fi fantasy. It's phenomenal. It's incredibly well written. It's got a great dynamic energy to it. It flows incredibly quickly. It grabs you and drags you along with it. The original trilogy is, to me, it's probably one of the best trilogies I've read in many, many years. And then it flows into another, well, it's a quadrilogy now, right? Like it's going to be 4 books, and
I don't even know
it
what that
just
means.
picks it up and it drags you with it, and it's great. And it's something that I've never really experienced while reading this sort of. It's almost like a sprint to the finish line, but every chapter. It's crazy.
It's an awesome book, and
What was my prediction?
you said, I really think that Cassius is going to have to kill Lysander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, keep reading. Like the amount of willpower it took to not,
Spoiler.
yeah, was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I would love to go back and get the receipts on this.
Yeah, you could play it.
and just play them all here and just be like, bad, 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 bad.
Well, this one was just more so timely because it's like, it's a very painful part of the book was that ending.
Look, so again, spoilers for anyone. If you don't want to be spoiled for this, please jump out now. But jump around, jump forward. Listen to our review of Weapons.
We have the time codes, go skip along. Yeah.
Look, I loved it. I really like this book. It adjusted my expectations wildly. It started with Darrow in like a cold, dark place, and it was this evolution of the character for me. Like he changed so much in this book. I think every time I've spoken about these books, I've said Darrow evolves, but he actually does evolve in this one. I feel like he embraces a side of himself that has helped him grow and become like more than just the Reaper. He is like ready to be the Red God, even though I don't think he will be the Red God. There's so many parts of this book. And if anything, I would say it's probably just a bit too much book. I know that sounds like a stupid thing to say. I do feel like there is so much in here, and I don't know what could have been cut down. I don't know where they could have made adjustments and such, but that's my only criticism. Just a little bit too much book, but I loved all of it. Like the speech he does to the daughters of Ares, awesome. Like just laying his soul bare. It's beautiful. It's all the things you want from a character who thinks he's probably about to die, and he's putting his final plea out there. And then like the clang, clang, clang when he's got the big final fight at the end against Far. So good. And like that's showing this character just evolving and becoming more like old Darrow would have just been too quick at it and just chopped his head straight off type thing. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't have brought to the game what he needed in this sense. And it was just awesome, man. I had such a good time reading it. My book fell to pieces as I was reading it. It was great. Like finally, like 4 chapters fell out, and I had to like carry them around with me and then sort of like flick around. I took so many notes, things that I enjoyed in this. What are your thoughts?
I really like this book. I think it's like up there with it's like Golden Sun and this one are my
Yeah, right. I need to reread Golden Sun.
But I just think it might even be this and Red Rising, the original. Like those are my top 3 though, for sure. Golden Sun, this, and Red Rising.
Of 6. I mean, you've narrowed it down to half.
My top 3 of Red Rising. Well, no, Golden Sun, Red Rising, and this one are in the top 3. I don't know what order. It depends on which day I read.
Okay.
A Lightbringer's got to be up there just because of the sheer size. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's there's like one part that I liked it a lot more than Dark Age because I hated a lot of the storyline in Dark Age with like the Queen of Thorns. I didn't like the Abomination. It was like a big part of that book is the Abomination, and it just didn't land for me. And there was like other things he could have done that like I thought would have been better. But in Dark Age, the main thing was there's just because of the way I think he writes, he does write each story somewhat contained.
Yes.
There's not a lot of like foreshadowing between books in a unique way, I think.
There's a some. There are definitely some. Like there are things you notice. Like you mentioned the Abomination. He started setting up cloning way back when. He makes there's like a subtle comment about cloning, even in I think in maybe the first trilogy or the first of this series, and he's not really explored it until now. He tends to come back to things. I feel he's got like a circular pattern where he'll pop in like a little something in the beginning, then come back around to it later. Maybe sort of going against what you're saying there, but I feel like there are places where he does that. Like I feel what's the chair Octavia had that changed?
No, that is like the only time I can think of him that he's foreshadowed frankly. Like the clone thing, maybe I don't remember them talking about clones. I remember them. It's sci-fi, so that's not even what I care about. It's like like I'm totally fine with the cloning aspect. It's more like the idea that I think he if he was going to do that, he should have seeded that more with tendencies that Jackal did or the things in
Mm,
that
mm,
storyline when he was
mhm.
alive.
Yeah, agreed.
But it's clear that he's come up with this later, I think, a bit of a retcon, which
Right.
I don't mind it. Anyway, we're not even talking about Lightbringer. What I like about Lightbringer is everything feels really earned because it almost feels like 2 books and does feel like he did quite a bit of planning for most of that storyline, except for the Daughters of Ares. That feels like they just pull it out of
You think? Okay, interesting.
thin air a
Interesting. No,
bit for me.
it does
But
sound a little bit like, tacked on. I agree, and I was talking to a friend of the show, Kyle, about this in the background. I think you were very busy, and there's, I was like, "I just need to vent feelings about this book." And I think one of the things that he mentioned that I think you've maybe said before is that a lot of this book got rewritten, and I feel
yeah,
like there were some plot lines and storylines that he's either nipped in the bud very quickly or sort of just eased away from because maybe they don't quite thematically work with where he was going or what he wants for the end of this series. And one of them is what you just mentioned around the abomination, which I find, which is such a weird. Like it didn't. I think I said this to you when we were talking about that the second book, Dark Age. It didn't make sense really to me. I was a bit like, this is the one part that I've been a bit like, what, why? And the other one that I feel like got nibbed in the bud very quickly in this was the
the thing.
Lyria's
Yeah,
thing,
whatever that
whatever it
thing was.
was. Yeah,
Yeah,
the thing that crawled inside her nose, whatever the fuck it is.
yeah. He
Um,
clearly was I wonder if he's commented on that.
I wonder too. I don't know. I don't know, Dre. I don't know.
What he did really well is the Cassius Darrow Severo
Yes.
relationships
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes,
like
yes, yes, yes.
the just like the full circle for Cassius and everything that goes there. The fact that like Cassius would never make any other choice other than to go. I feel like he almost does Cassius' story arc better than Darrow's sometimes. It's like Cassius would have never made any other choice but to go back and try and save Lysander or help him
True.
make a better decision because the whole point of Cassius making the choice to side with Darrow and the whole that was like everyone deserves a second chance because he needs to believe that for himself and he
And for Lysander.
definitely and for his own brother who he lost like because that's what Lysander represents to him is that second
Yeah.
chance. And so I just love it's a beautiful ending when he gets murked because you still at the end
You lose him twice. I'm like,
you don't
why?
yeah. You
Why?
still at the end, you don't know if he could have killed him or he didn't.
I think he didn't. I think he could have killed him, but he
Well,
didn't. I'm pretty sure.
everybody gets to, make
I
their
know. I'm
yeah,
right, Dre. I got the
yeah.
no, yeah. It's really beautifully written. I think in terms of Cassius as a character, like that whole, like what you're saying here, the whole redemption arc and how he learned to accept Darrow, even though he murdered his brother, Darrow, as you like to say, as a brother, even though he killed his brother, is just fabulous. It's such nice. It's such beautiful writing, and the slow burn of it. You know, like he comes back and he saves Darrow, and then they spend all this time together. It's just really well written,
Well, and he
and
becomes like his coach. They coach each
yeah,
other. You
yeah,
know,
it's
it's like
great.
and he becomes his, like, his ringside coach, which is like, what do they call him? His swordsman or something, razor master.
What do you think of the
I loved
new
that whole
fighting
bit.
stance? Did you? Okay, I felt
Yeah,
it was very like becoming one with the Force, or like like I feel almost feel like that could have been saved for the finale. Like, if you could imagine, like, the fight with Lysander at the end where he's got the whatever it is, the what's the cognition thing he has?
well, that's what he's clearly doing now. He's leading
I
up to
know,
that.
but, like, he's leading up to it, great, but, like, could you imagine he slips into this at the last minute, remembering Cassius and all the things he's lost and etcetera, and that's how he
Well, he's gonna
beats
go
the
Super
guy who can
Saiyan, dude.
see the
That's what
future. Yeah.
no, he's gonna go Super Saiyan. I think it would feel a bit cheap if he just, like, found it right then. Like, Cassius helped him find this thing, and now he's gonna perfect it, I think.
I like that idea.
And
It's nice.
I would also argue that I think what Darrow has found with whatever it's called, something of the minds,
The
I forget,
willow
like,
something, yeah, the
the wind
breath
of the
of the minds or
minds.
something, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's basically the equivalent of Lysander's mind's eye, and he's just
Yeah,
discovered it on his own. And I think that that will be the thing that, like, because Lysander is not at peace with himself, you know,
that's
he won't be
interesting.
at
Yeah,
peace with himself. He won't be able to find the mind's eye the same way that A, because of the memory thing, I think we're going to find out, and
I do
B,
think so too. I was going to say that.
yeah, B, because I think Lysander, in his own way, is just like he is not okay with the decisions he's made.
Right, he's full of
Yeah,
guilt. There are problems there that he can't get past, and I wonder if that's like the key to unlocking things. Like Darrow has accepted himself, and like that's that whole chapter, like which I really love.
yeah.
There's like a whole section about him just accepting who he is and who like the different sides of his personality coming together, and it's something that we've not seen specifically explored, which I really like, and it's different. And I like that Pierce is trying new things. You know.
Well, I think it landed. Whatever he did with Darrow, he came out feeling more mature.
Agreed, agreed. I think it was that time at the beginning where he was kind of sidelined. It was really nice.
Yeah.
I did have a question for you actually, and I was thinking about this. I like Okay, I would really like this book to end with, and I feel like the series may, in some respects, it's got to have like a big final battle. It's got to be one, like like a lot's got to happen in the final chapters. But like, I'd love like an ending, like almost like the Battle of Hogwarts. Think about it that way, where everyone kind of gets their tit for tat. Like how Molly gets Bellatrix. Spoilers for Harry Potter, I guess, as well. Maybe Molly gets Bellatrix, and then like there's a bit where Voldemort's fighting three of the strongest, but manages to just about defeat them. Who gets who is what I'm trying to ask you. Like, I feel like a lot of people have a claim to Lysander. Diomedes certainly does. You would hope that Darrow does as well, but like, there's other people as well. Like, obviously Ajax, which I felt Ajax dying was a bit of a. It felt a little bit empty because he obviously just. It felt like an almost like a fridging. It felt like an empty way to give Lysander more means or desire to kill everyone.
I don't know if it was empty. I didn't mind it. I think that he's gonna miss Ajax like next book by doing that. Meaning like he is gonna feel the like I don't know who the villains are. Is that Atlantia and Lysander? Who the hell else is there? Like
Well, there's Atlantis crew. There's a Polynesius.
oh what I forgot about Apollonius.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
that is
there's
fair.
yeah.
Actually, we have he'll just take center stage because he hasn't been very big in up until Lightbringer. To be fair,
Who was who died? Atlas died in this one. Atlas was
yeah, Alice died. Alice was a good character.
sneakily becoming one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he was a good character.
He was a little OP though. He was a little OP.
What do you mean?
As in, it just felt like he knew everything and could do everything and could beat anyone and etc. etc. I was like,
Well, he's like special ops, you know?
yeah, he was great. I tell you what, the book did miss. Sorry, I interrupted you there. The book definitely missed Ephraim. That little bit of levity, that little bit of like a different perspective, when you've got all these characters who are so dour and so like
I think that's what Cassius
Lysander
kind of
is.
replaced. Cassius was
Yeah, but
fucking hilarious this whole book.
he wasn't a
Like,
POV. He wasn't a POV.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You were saying about the one-on-ones. Who do you think's going to take out who? Who do you think's got Apollonesius? I'm saying it wrong. Apple Boy.
Good question, man. Victor's gonna fuck somebody up.
Oh, she's got to. I can't wait to see that. Who's she going to take down?
Or maybe
Then
she died.
There's almost more. Yeah, I definitely think maybe a Severo or a Victra could die. There's like
Sever can't come out of this like unscathed.
there's almost too many good guys to bad guys ratio, in terms of the big names.
Well, I just think that Severus you can't I guess he did lose his son that he never met. But
Yeah.
I feel like he's as much as he said he like made the choice to follow his family, like he's basically followed Dara every step of the way, and that's okay. But like there's
Mm.
got to be a cost. I think Pax will probably kill Lysander.
Lysander. I think I've always said that. I think that.
Or he'll be central to how Lysander dies.
Yeah, I do still maintain I think Darrow needs to die at the end of this series, and I'm not just saying that lightly. I think, and I'm not being flippant about it. I think one, to close the series and stop anyone ever being like, you could write more because Darrow's still alive. I think he kind of needs to kill him in a sense to sort of close this chapter off completely. But also, I think it offers the opportunity for the war to end. So I can't remember if I was talking with you or friends or Kyle about this, but my perspective of it is that he brought the war, and only without him can the war end. It's a kind of like a give and take in the universe, because whenever he's alive or there will be, you know, those who resent him and hate him for bringing the war in the first place. So I feel like in him dying, you can finally heal almost. You know what I mean? It's like that sort of
Yeah, no, that's
that sort of
totally fair.
trajectory.
I think it's just like clear he's gonna die because the title, but
But he might be resurrected in 3 days.
I think it was pretty clear that he was gonna die like as soon as he fucking burned that motherfucker. And like there's certain actions he took where I was like, event like the arc will be redemption, but the arc will be like understanding that his comeuppance is due or whatever. What do you
Comeuppance, yeah.
comeuppance
Yeah.
is
Again,
due.
it is due.
And that's all I can really predict. The rest, I mean, Diomedes deserves to kill some motherfucker.
He's a gangster. That guy's so cool.
I think it'll be Atlantia actually, because Atlantia represents, or Apollonius, one of those two, because they kind of represent all that is wrong in gold. Like, you know, they're like
Agreed.
the epitome of like the best, but also like the worst of gold.
Yeah, agree.
Meaning,
100% agree.
so he represents like what the gold should be. So like I reckon he fucking murks one of those two.
Do you know what? Do you know who Diomedes reminds me of? I couldn't stop thinking this because I don't recall him ever having like a proper action scene in the books. Like I don't think he has. And forgive me if I'm wrong, or like call me out.
Now there's one scene where he like just murks a bunch of people in Iron Gold.
In Lightbringer, there is a bit when they catch up to him and he's like covered in blood and he's just murdered a bunch of people, but like you never see it. You never like. I don't feel like, and like you know what he reminds me of. He reminds me of. Do you remember that Simpsons episode where the triads are fighting outside the Simpsons house, and there's the one guy in the white suit just standing there, and he's like, Homer's like, but he's about to do something. He's been saying that the whole time. That's what he reminds me of. I'm like, I just can't wait for like the energy to just get unleashed. He's like a coiled spring. I can't wait for it to just like power onto the stage.
Oh yeah, he's gonna murk some people.
In general, you know, Lightbringer, like I say, maybe just too much book. But I really like the direction it's gone. There's so many things that could have taken me out of it, but didn't. It was like really beautifully written. Cassius' character just like helping Darrow heal. Beautiful. Highly recommend. Like we've said this so many times. If you guys haven't thought about reading Red Rising, if you like any of the things we've been talking about, sci-fi, fantasy, world building, it's just delicious. Go and check it out. I think I'm going to talk about friend of the show Luke in a moment. I've told you this before, but I gave the first one to friend of the show Luke. He's not a big reader, a little bit like myself. Like I try and read as much as I can, but struggle for time. He burned through that first trilogy in like 2 weeks. He just like head down went for it. I was like,
this is a familiar story, man. Yeah, we've all.
I know, isn't it?
All pass
isn't
it on.
It?
Yeah,
it's that momentum we were talking about. It just goes and it goes and it goes, and yeah, it's phenomenal. Highly recommend, guys. If there's anything you recommend that we haven't talked about, please hit us up. You can find us at Podcast Assemble or thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. It'll be on the screen somewhere, one direction or the other. You can also go to our website, www.podcastassemble.com, to find all of our details. All of our stuff is there. You can send us memes, send us news, send us reviews. We love it when you do. I remember when people were sending us memes for a little while. That was the best time. Best of times. All I want is memes in my life. I mean, obviously, I want other things. But DL,
yeah.
Do you want to preface our main topic this week?
It's the main topic theme.
Yeah, this week we are doing a movie called Weapons, by a director who apparently is somewhat well known, that I hadn't heard of his other stuff.
Zach Cregger. Yeah. I mean, Barbarian is a movie that a lot of people. Yeah, it's a movie a lot of people loved. I haven't actually got around to seeing it, but I do want to see it. But he's got a bunch of stuff coming up too. Like he's going to be doing a 2026 Resident Evil movie. A lot of people have got high hopes for him, especially in like the horror genre. So yeah, I got excited for this one. Like a lot of people were talking about this one. It had like a crazy Rotten Tomatoes score before it came to proper cinemas. But before we do talk about it, DL, do you have a stupid plot summary?
I do. My stupid plot summary might be, for our first filming episode, might be a bit spicy. But
ooh, I love a bit of spice. Go on.
Everyone is baffled.
Oh, wait. Let me take my glasses off. It's steaming up my glasses. It's my eyes. Oh, my God.
Everyone is baffled as their children run, very specially, from the house in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. And it turns out you really should be concerned about the in-laws.
Yes, we're all terrified of our in-laws. Let's be perfectly honest with you. Mine takes a slightly different direction. And anyone who doesn't know about super plot summaries, you've never been here before. This is our way of summarizing the film for you in a silly way, because we know we are terrible at summarizing films. Mine is just Roald Dahl's The Witches for the Internet Generation.
Maybe. Haven't seen the original.
I haven't read that book in a fucking long time. The movie's pretty grim as well. This is a pretty stacked cast, and we're going to talk about the cast in a minute as well, because there's some interesting choices and changes that happened during the making of this. So Julia Garner is Justine in this. You have recently seen her in Fantastic Four. I really liked her, actually. She was the Silver Surfer. Carrie Christopher is Alex.
Very nice eyelashes on that kid. My wife was talking about it all that freaking thing, and I was like, actually, you know what? They are quite long. Nice
They're long eyelashes, but just make sure you're not on a list, okay? He is also going to be in DC's Lanterns and Spider Noir, which is featuring Nick Cage. It's going to be interesting. We have Josh, get everything with guns in the air, Brolin, who plays Archer. We haven't done that in a while. I miss shouting "Get everything with guns in the air" at you. Dune was I actually watched Dune 2 again recently, and his energy is very different in that film to the first one, and it kind of misses his manicness from the first.
Well, he didn't have like much of an arc in that one. It was like very
quick. He was very sidelined. Yeah, Benedict Wong is in this as Marcus Wong, one of my favorites always. Alden Ehrenreich is in this as Paul. Austin Abrahams plays James. A couple of others to mention. Justin Lang is Gary, and Amy Madigan is Gladys. Really good cast, really interesting cast, and we've got some, like I said, bits to talk about before when we're talking through performances and whatnot. But I did want to bring something back, a segment of the show that we do sometimes, and sometimes I definitely forget, but today I have definitely not forgotten, which is Goofy IMDb Picture. Now, for anyone who is new to the show, again, welcome, hey, glad to have you. We are not making fun of people's faces in Goofy IMDb Picture. We are effectively saying, I mean, sometimes we are.
Sure. Whatever you need to tell yourself, sleep at night.
Most of the time, we are absolutely not. But this is where we look through the IMDb pictures of the people in a movie, and we say, like, this is your introduction to the world in many cases. Like, why is this the picture you chose? And the goofier, the better. The stupider, the better. So we have a real contender this week, DL. Just reminding you of our current champion, who will be flashing up on screen as we're talking. So this, as you well know, DL, is Jacques-Yves Dorges, who I've definitely said wrong, but is again from The Substance, and he plays a stakeholder, so one of the dudes at the end of the film. And the challenger this week, DL. Now he plays frantic parent. Now, which again, phenomenal role, phenomenal naming role for this guy. I think you're gonna really like this one. This is Hurley Paul, which. Hurley Paul, I'm sending it to you right now. Please chuck it up on screen, Mr. Matthew Bliss. Is wonderful. Please explain this to our dear viewers / listeners. That's the reaction I was waiting for.
It's kind of like This is what I imagine Peacemaker to look like.
Oh, Peacemaker's dad, absolutely 100%.
Yeah, it's like Peacemaker's uncle. Did he have a haircut like this in the?
I have no idea.
In the movie, I mean, I don't know. He's dressed all in black, like he's like a Men in Black, with the shades and like kind of what only I can describe is like either like 80s movie flat top haircut or like an 80s football player linebacker flat top haircut. Like he looks like he's on the Bears. He looks like he's like the middle linebacker of the Bears in the 80s. Is what I'd say.
His picture, man, it looks like he's stuck somewhere between trying to recreate his college football picture and a porn shoot. Like that's true.
This looks like his IMDb porn headshot for sure.
Yes, it does, and it's also like almost full body. He's like leaning very seductively against like a rock for some reason. He's borderline pouting. I'm like, what are we going for here? Like, what is the vibe?
That's a smile pout, dude. You never done the smile pout?
It's a smout. It's halfway. It's like all right. That's pretty much spot on for a Goofy IMDb picture for me. That's up there. That's a real challenger. What do you reckon?
Well, because this one's like properly professionally done, obviously as well. Like that is the ethos. Is like this new one. Our boy, whatever his name is, Putney.
Yeah, Hurley.
Yeah, because the ethos is meant to be like, hey, this is you've just landed your first role where you're gonna make an IMDb profile. Like this is what you choose. Gotta imagine he had some headshots better than this one, or maybe this is just what he's trying to embody. I don't know. I think he's the new winner. What do you say?
Yes, we got a new MVP. Yes, baby, we did it. Because we've had The Substance was a while ago. Like we talked about that film quite a long time ago. So yes, we did it, guys. We'll put a poll up somewhere. You can let us know what you think. Who do you think's the goofier of those two IMDb pictures? So DL, talk to me about this movie. What happens in this film? What's the plot of this film?
A class disappears, and except for one kid, all from the same, like, what, third grade class or something. A town is left wondering where the fuck they went and what happened.
At 217 specifically 217.
Yeah, at 217 in the middle of the night, they all ran out of the house.
Goodbye.
Completely normal running.
Normally running. Yeah.
Yeah, and
the reason I'm not commenting on that is because
mysteriously,
when we get to trivia true or false, there is going to be a bit of trivia about that. So,
okay, cool.
Hold your horses.
Okay, mysteriously disappeared, and nobody knows where they went. They can't find them, and the town is up in arms about it. And the movie actually follows a series of vignettes of each person's perspective, somewhat linearly, or near like a little. Well, actually, no. I guess it goes back. They don't all start at the same time, but it is like it does go back in time a bit each time you go to a new character's perspective.
For the most part, it's following the same few hours. Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
I really like that sort of storytelling where it's sort of showing different perspectives
on events,
on very similar events. It's really great. And one thing that I would call out about this very, very simply up top is the trailer does a really fantastic job of giving you enough breadcrumbs to get you really interested in the movie without telling you absolutely everything. One of the things we always talk about is, and I absolutely detest this about modern movies, the trailers literally tell you everything, and it's part of like the marketing now. It's part of like the point. I hate that. This just goes like, here's the core premise. Come and see it if you want to know more. And I love that about this. And it legitimately was a terrifying movie. Like genuinely, like I was actually terrified in this movie.
Also hilarious at times.
Weirdly funny.
Yeah,
we'll
proper
definitely
dark
talk about
comedy.
That. Really dark bits of humor, just at the right moments as well, sprinkled in the right moments. I went to see this with friend of the show Luke, who I was just mentioning, read the Red Rising books. Absolute legend. Shout out to you, Luke. And honest to God, I'm so happy because I was going to go see this on my own. My partner, she hates horror. She did not want to come and see this with me.
I didn't even realize it was a horror when I suggested it, by the way. My bad.
Dude.
I had no idea.
I knew it was a horror, and I was like, dude, we've done a few horrors recently. This is turned up the dial. And he was sat with his hood like this the whole time, like Kenny from South Park.
I covered my eyes multiple times, bro.
Yeah, and I was
multiple times.
It was like, it
I'm
is
such
hard to watch sometimes. I was like, some of the bits. We're going to talk about it in a sec, but I wanted to preface this, and because it was so scary, I wanted to think about how can I make this feel less scary for everyone? How can I make the movie which terrified the shit out of me? And honest to God, I came home and I forgot my partner was out to dinner with some friends, and I sat for an hour and a half on my own in the living room, constantly looking around, terrified someone was going to burst in, a clown was going to burst in. Here's a real question for you, though. If you could remake this movie, the whole film, with Muppets,
yes,
and keep one human character, who would it be? Who's the human character you keep in this? There's an obvious answer, but like, let's try and. I mean, there's two obvious ones you could go for. You could probably go for Alex or Gladys, but
you would keep this character as human for comedy purposes, or like what's the
whatever you want. You choose. Why would you can tell me why you'd do it as well. I know who I would choose.
I would probably choose Benedict Wong to be the human character.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I would. Well, everyone else is Muppets. I think that'd be lit.
That's excellent. He did a fabulous job in this. There is a scene in this with him, and it's grim.
But if you want to make it scarier, clearly the ant.
Yeah, Gladys, of course. But like for me, I tell you what would have worked really well for this. This is a new segment. I'm going to start doing this. I like this. Which character would you have as a Muppet? The drug guy. He was like, imagine like I think it's James.
Well, he could have just been
like,
drugged. Yeah. On drugs,
right? And you just like it's effectively his imagination. I would be ridiculous and weird, but like that would be a fucking funny movie.
I thought he delivered as a normal. Thought he delivered quite well. Like meaning,
yeah,
he was hilarious.
You keep his performance completely straight. You don't change anything about the performance. It remains exactly as is. and you just have
Except he's a
just
Muppet.
for no reason, everyone else in the whole film is a Muppet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, everyone else is. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh, him being a Muppet, that would be a weird twist on that.
The movie's like super scary, but not really with like, there's a couple jump scares, but they're not
Yeah.
like gruesome. The gruesome ones are like built up.
Well, let's talk about that. Right. Let's talk about the horror in this.
Yeah, like the gruesome ones, you are expecting them to come.
So it's really interesting how this film evolves, right? So in the beginning, so the children go missing, and it starts with this exploration of the loss and grief of parents, and also the teacher who lost them, and there's lots of misdirection and misdemeanor, and it makes you care about these people who are grieving in the community, and
Totally.
it eventually, through people's actions and through what's happening in the story, these 4 or 5 different stories that get sort of pulled together, evolves into a horror movie, and you start getting these things. But because it starts off as something different, and don't get me wrong, like, we're gonna talk about it, but it goes buck wild at the end. This shit goes full heavy.
But it's a slow build. I love the pace.
Because it builds, right? Because it builds, and because it starts something almost a half different movie, and it sort of evolves that way. It builds to these horror moments, and they were really effective. I felt
The tension builds are really good. The mystery is constantly there in an obscure way. You're like, what happened? But you're also like, what is going on regardless of what happened? Like there's an element of that as well. And I think it's like scary enough at moments, but also quite slow in its build up, and what it like chooses to reveal when really brings the tension higher and higher. And I thought the pacing was awesome. I thought the acting was great, and each of these characters, like, I was fun spending that little, like, I don't know, half hour with them or whatever we got.
Yeah, I liked them all. I thought they were all really interesting and well created.
Like, there was no one that I was like, bummed about being with. You know what I mean?
Right. Same. Absolutely same. I think technically it's a very good movie. Like, a lot of the aspects of this that maybe get pushed aside because of the excellent characters and the fantastic build of the movie. Like, technically it's beautiful. The blocking, for example, in certain scenes, and the use of light, fabulous. But I got taken out of thinking about those things while I was watching it, because my brain was taken over by how it made me feel. I felt, like I said before, like in the beginning, genuinely empathetic for these people. And I think we're going to talk about Josh Brolin in a minute. Josh Brolin was just such a good grieving dad. Like, he just brought an energy to the film. But then when it got to the horror, I was genuinely scared. My love for cinema and trying to deconstruct what's going on and what's great and what's et cetera, was pushed aside, because it genuinely just made me feel all the way through different things. And there's there's little things you can say about the storyline and all this, but to me, it was a phenomenal film.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. Even when the ending becomes like, traditional horror.
Book wild.
Yeah. I really liked it. I thought, in particular, some of the like long shot, if we're talking about like how I don't operate a film camera. I'm not a cinematographer.
Neither.
But some of the long shots with like slow creeping stills where you like, it's just the person coming like from that house. There's a couple of those.
Amazing.
There's a couple of different versions of that, and they were all really good. They were all
different pieces as well. Like it sort of blended styles at times. So like, my favorite one was the liquor store shot where Justine, who's the main character, who is the teacher, who is being called upon by the parents to explain why these kids have gone missing, when how could she possibly know? But does she know? It's a great mystery as well going on in the background, all these things, which, does become clear as you're going through the film. But there is a wonderful shot, and it's almost like a Hitman game. You are following her, like, it's almost like a video game. You're following her pretty much face on, and then early into that shot, someone starts following her, and you initially notice it, and then they become more prominent, and then towards the end of the shot, they burst into the scene, and action kind of happens in the foreground. But like, the way it's blended that very different style of filmmaking with what's going on with the rest of it. You mentioned a bunch of other shots, like great wide shots, very beautiful cinematography. It got me, man. It's just incredibly shot. It's really interesting.
The music was pretty good too, like the
Oh,
creeping, like ding, 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 that kind of
too
stuff,
right.
and just um
We don't
and
often talk about the music. Yeah.
yeah, the pacing was just for the fact that they had like 4 or 5 different people, like it just really was. There wasn't a lot of fat. It was like
Yeah.
perfectly paced, I
Agreed.
thought. What else was like what fucking tweaked you the most? Like what part?
Well, maybe it's just maybe it's leading spoilers, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The main bit of this, I found the drug addict James's perspective fascinating because
That was
you had all
exciting.
these
Yeah.
yeah, you had all these different themes thrown in as well. It's like police brutality and like being a drug addict, he's forgetting things and all this. And the bit when he's been chased through the woods, the climax of that scene is just grim and brutal and r- just great build up and misdirection. It's fabulous. It's really really great. What's yours?
I think probably the whole sequence of him going into the house was I was tweaking.
Who's him? As in the James,
James.
the drug addict guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James. Or like when you see Justine just like sleeping out front of the house and that whole sequence
Oh
happens.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. I think the quieter moments are almost better than the big scare moments at times. This, which is real. I mean, we've talked about this before. I personally, I'm not a jump scare guy. They don't normally freak me out. Like I'm just like, all right, I get it. Yeah, whatever. But in this, I think the psychological horror was so strong that it lent real gravitas to those scenes, and it was really well done. One of the interesting things about this film, and I was reading this before, literally just before we started recording, this was a script highly in demand, and you can see why. Like it's so well, like the storyline is it could apply to a lot of people. I can see why a lot of people would be interested in seeing this film. It crosses demographics, and the director attached clearly has a big future ahead of him. Deadline Hollywood was reporting that a bunch of different studios were trying to get this. So Universal, Netflix, Sony, TriStar. Apparently, Netflix wanted to pay more for the movie up front, but it wasn't necessarily guaranteed a theatrical release. So that's why they went with what they did. And you can see why, right? Like you can see why this needs to be seen in cinema.
Yeah, this is a movie you want to see in the theater.
Like you want to be scared. Yeah, it's so layered. So much psychological horror, so much visceral horror. You mentioned the jokes before as well.
There's a lot of them and they're pretty
There's a
good.
lot of jokes. Yeah, and they take you off guard.
And no, it takes you off guard and it settles you. You know, this is a
Yeah.
movie that for as scary as it is terrifying. Like the tension at points is like really palpable. Um, but I was laughing just as much as I was covering, almost as much as I was covering my
Mm,
even
mm,
sometimes at the
mm.
ridiculousness of like some like
Agreed.
when
Agreed.
Benedict's going full Wong.
Yeah.
I'll just say it like that. Like I was just like, what, dude?
What is happening?
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what really worked in it for me, and you've mentioned it already, it was the structure of the film. And I think all the things you're talking to, without that structure, it's a different movie. If it's more linear than it is, you don't get the slow build and the slow creep. And because you've seen from a different perspective one of the things
Bits
how
and
it's happened.
pieces.
So
Yeah.
the witch painted on the car, perfect example. It becomes like this slow creep, and as you're learning it, it makes other things scarier. So I thought it was just so well directed and so well delivered. I want to talk a little bit about performances with you because really very interestingly, this movie actually had a lot of different stars attached before you got to where it was. So, for example, Rooney Mara and Elizabeth Olsen were offered the role of Julie, but both actually turned it down. And Pedro Pascal was actually left this project. He was attached to play that Josh Brolin role and left to do Fantastic Four First Steps. Apparently, the Marvel paychecks, you can't turn them down, probably. This is a different movie with Pedro Pascal. I think he's great. Like, he is a little oversaturated for me right now.
I think if he was in this, it would have been too much, dude. It would have been way too much. He needs to chill out. I like him a lot. And
Yeah.
it's powerful to say that he is everywhere and I still like him that much because he's probably just as much everywhere as Ryan Reynolds was for that bit of time.
He needs
And I
he
was
needs a
so
break.
over I was so over Reynolds and I could still see him. but I don't want him in this movie. He's now too big.
No.
He's now like
Yeah.
Brolin's just big enough, but also just not in as much shit. He's very picky, I would think.
I think Brolin does a great job of choosing his roles.
Yeah, he really does. And like Pedro would have drawn away from the like everything going. I mean, I'm sure he still would have been good, but
I agree. Like, look, he's in The Last of Us. We've talked about it before. He's great in The Last of Us. He plays literally a grieving father who's evolving in a new world, and he's great in that. He's phenomenal. I just think Brolin has a different energy to him. The aggression he brings to this, and that sort of like upfront anger, it works better with this film, I think, personally.
Yeah, fair, totally fair.
I did like Julia Garner in this as well. The anxious energy she had, really incredible. The feeling of the whole town turning on you, whether it's in her own head, whether it's real, whether she's hiding things.
Sticking to her guns, even so, though, like
so good, like
pretty
really
good. Yeah,
but and you've got this where this is happening, but at the same time you're empathizing with the parents. It's just really great deal. What did you think of the action in this? Because there is a decent amount of action, horror action. Did you have any specific pieces that like really grabbed you?
I mean, I thought the ending is very cathartic, obviously.
Well, hold that thought.
Yeah. Action wise, no, I mean, like the scene with Julia Garner and Benedict Wong, I think you've already touched on it a bit with the long shot in the background. Was really good.
Oh, that's actually a different one. You're thinking of a different one. I was thinking of the one where she's in the liquor store and it's Paul's wife who's just following her.
Oh yeah. That's
but
also
both work. Good. Both make sense. Yeah, both make sense in that. Yeah, that scene is visceral, man. There's a lot to that scene where Wong is sort of just approaching in the background, coming in like this.
Yeah, like
doing the run. We're gonna talk about that.
I do think part of the comedy in this is that they like not a lot of like when crazy shit happens in horror movies, you as the viewer are like, what the fuck? I think even Josh Brolin says after he has this crazy dream that like something happens in it that's like really cooked all of a sudden. And he wakes up just like, what the fuck?
He follows his son into another house. Yeah, it's literally that.
He's like literally like wakes up like, what the fuck? And you're just like,
literally.
Thank you. Right. Like, thank you for doing, because like I was scared and then that like gave me instant relief. And I think this movie does that a lot with a bit of the stuff. Like when one of the, people is in that state and they just keep getting thrown around.
Back
it's and
weird,
forth,
isn't it? It's weird.
It's like the comedy element of that too is quite good. Like I do think they laugh at it a bit to draw you out of the horror, which is like I appreciate.
Also distracts as well, and it makes other things scarier almost.
Yeah, where I'm just like the whole movie like
Completely agree. All right, we're getting very close to spoilers now. Should we just wrap up with a little bit of tones and themes? What were your key themes for this movie? I mean, there's a ton. There's like a trillion.
Don't let the in-laws in.
Well, I mean, you can almost look at it from two perspectives, like the beginning or the end. So the beginning, you're sort of talking about like isolation, harassment, persecution, almost redemption in a way. Like there's a lot of things going on with that Julie character that could make him his own movie almost. Yeah. Mourning, all the things. And then you flip onto the second half of the movie where you start to learn what's going on and the
protection,
different elements. Nurture, exactly. Yeah, all those things. So it's a deep movie, I would say. Look, if you're new here, what we do now is we like to do a thing we like to call 3 best and 3 worst. We don't always get to 3, but it's 3 reasons why you might want to watch this film and 3 reasons why you might not want to watch this film. Pre-spoilers, so just top level. Bish bash bosh. Don't know why I've never said that in my entire life. 3 things you might like and 3 things you might not like. DL, 3 reasons you might want to avoid this movie, 3 reasons why you might want to see it. What are your 3 best?
I think the length and the pacing. It's got a really, because we haven't talked about it, I'm going to throw this in. The child actor is really good.
We should have talked about him. He's fantastic.
Yeah, we didn't talk about him at all. He's the one kid left. And so everybody's wondering, Alex, what the fuck happened to all your fucking
What you do?
Classmates, what you do, boy? Bro? Where did they go, dude?
Did those eyelashes envelop them?
Yeah, nobody farts that bad. Everybody would leave at once. Like, geez, dude, where did they go? It's a terrible joke. I don't know. But like, seriously, what would you say to that kid? Like, dude, you're the only one left. Like, come on, bud.
The reveal of that kid's story is great as well. That's the final part of this.
It is. He's really good. And then the other thing would be just the tension builds are
Agreed.
earned. They're earned.
Agreed. Very much so. I think mine I had Josh Brolin as well. I think he plays like so many different roles in this film. Grieving father, angry parent, action star at some points.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he does a
yeah.
lot in this, and it's really strong, really, really strong. And he plays well against Julia Garner, who I also think is fabulous in this. You mentioned the sound design. I really like that, and I didn't bring it up intentionally to sort of say it here. I think it doesn't reinvent the wheel in any sense, but it does things really, really well. Like the use of silence, building up to a point where you just snap out of it. The Josh Brolin come out of his dream sequence, beautifully done. Awesome, fantastic, really well directed. We've talked about the cinematography. Like you say, I know never sit behind a camera, but I know good cinematography when I see it, and I know what I like. And this is it. This has so many. It's diverse as well. There's so much that happens in it. There's so many different types of things that happen to just keep you engaged and keep you looking over their shoulder. Like, what's that? Is that Wong in the background again? You know what I mean? Like, there's always new things to keep you engaged, and it's fabulous. Do you have any worsts?
No, dude, I don't. I really like the movie.
It's a tough one. I really liked it too. I would say the final reveals. Yeah, it was. We're going to talk about it in just a second when we get to spoilers, but it was all right. It was all right.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The mystery is never as good as you want it to be. You know?
Agreed.
My one nitpick is they're really ineffective police.
So ineffective.
Like,
completely pointless.
Based off of the ending of the review, like of where the kids are. They're just not very effective. Yeah, was what
Look
I would say.
or try just harder
like,
in any way.
There's just a little bit of, you have to suspend your disbelief that like they could get away with this.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with that too. I think
yeah.
The police, like we were going to talk about in a sec, but the police go round to the house and don't suspect or think, and like we're going to jump into spoilers, but yeah, I completely agree. The police could have been way more effective in this.
You need to make it like a smaller town for me to believe that they would be disineffective. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's still a pretty big town, like by all.
Yeah, it's not like
they had a big supermarket. Yeah,
medium town. Plenty of boot shops. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the current critical reception for this. Can you guess for me, DL, the current IMDb score?
I saw it. I think it's 7.8.
It is 7.8. Good one. You nailed it after seeing it. Okay, cool. Couple more. Can you guess for me the current Rotten Tomatoes score?
A 92.
94. That is serious. I mean, when it came out, it was like 100% of Rotten Tomatoes for ages, and then obviously user scores started coming in. So, but like 94 is real solid.
Pretty good.
Can you then guess for me finally the Letterboxd score, which is always 3.6 but never 3.6?
4.
3.8. Interestingly, I wonder if horror gets harsher reviews because it is scary.
I thought like horror would attract the type of people that would give it a good review. That was what I was thinking.
Maybe. I don't know.
My theory.
I don't know. I would have probably, I mean, we as we're about to talk about, don't obviously do ratings in the same way, but I would have rated it higher if I were to give it a numerical value, I think. What we do, DL, as you well know, is we rate this on a binary scale. The internet's binary. Things are either the best or worse. So we ask the question, is this better or worse than the most average movie we know, which is Aquaman 2018, and why? DL, what do you reckon?
It's better.
It's better.
Because Benedict Wong goes AWOL.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that. That's so weird, that scene. It's definitely better. There's so much to it. There are no CGI octopus. I don't remember much CGI in this. There's clearly little bits, but a lot of practical stuff in this film.
Prosthetics, yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, phenomenal. Really good film. Highly recommend, guys. Go away and check it out. But we will do a bit of spoilers. Bit of spoiler time, big time spoiler time.
Sure, do it. Yeah.
Spoilers. So like we were talking about, the film, it cycles through different characters. It starts with Julie. It then goes to get everything with guns in the air. It then goes to Paul, who's an ex-boyfriend of Julie, but a cop. And then it goes to the drug addict James, who he was chasing.
Highlight of the movie might be him.
Probably my favorite part of the film. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. So many good bits. We'll talk about that in a sec. And then it goes to Wong's character, Marcus, who is the headmaster of the school. And then this is where it starts to go buck fucking wild. And then it finally moves to Alex, who's the child, who's the last child remaining in the class. And you find, and the web unravels, and it's just, it's so interesting and so weird. What has been happening in his life. And that was the one thing I was going to say my potential worst, and probably didn't want to because it kind of gives away a bit. But like, it doesn't give enough clues throughout the film for you to put together how this ends. And it's not a murder mystery, you know. Like, yeah, I'm not expecting that. It's of course a horror, but like, I would have liked to have been able to say, oh, I sort of guessed that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I definitely guessed that the kid had something to do with it, but the fact that his Aunt Gladys comes to stay with his family and turns out to be a witch. And it's just,
well, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm maybe reaching a little bit here, but like, that's my.
I mean, you knew it was something to do with the fucking kid, dude.
Well, he did a great job of misdirecting you to think it was the teacher.
He wasn't not going to be involved. What's that?
That's it. It did a lot to misdirect you to think it was perhaps Julie, the teacher. The whole time I was wondering. Oh, by the point you got to Alex, no chance.
No, I did at the start, but even by the second, I was kind of like, this is just a teacher who's like actually fucking tweaked. Like, she's concerned, you know, because I think it like makes you realize, it makes you remember teachers are there for the kids. Like, they don't do this job because it's like an easy job. So like,
my brother's a teacher.
Yeah,
it's hard. This shit is not easy.
So
yeah,
I get your point, but I kind of love the build up because you're more and more like, okay, it's definitely this kid, something to do with him. What's going on? Well, it's not this kid, but it's something to do with him. Because you go to this house, it's boarded up. He goes in, there's like the parents are just, you see something weird going on, like they're sitting.
And you've seen bits of that through the film, though.
Yeah.
You have seen little bits of that, like you have seen the mom, but you didn't know it was the mom, and you've seen like through the house is all papered up at one point, and you see through the window. Really interestingly done. Yeah. So the twist effectively is that Aunt Gladys, quotation marks, is, I don't know if she's the actual aunt. I didn't really know.
There's no way some aunt I haven't met in decades is staying at my house.
Yes.
Ever after watching this movie.
She has come around, and it's ruined family for me forever, and has possessed, let's say, the mom and dad and other people, and
she uses like blood magic.
Yeah, the way I perceived this was she was sucking their life force out. She was like taking their soul effectively.
She was, I mean, that's definitely like, it was like a way for her to keep alive when she was super sick, tapping into like some satanic soul.
Sucking out their souls.
But something to do with this weird plant that she grows that also like she cuts herself in with a blood sacker. She's a witch. Like, it's not really.
She's a witch. You get it.
You need like items from the other person, but I didn't quite get that because like you only needed some.
Yeah, you need hair or something of them.
But how did she get Wong to just go wild?
Because she got his hair.
No, she got his husband's hair, which she wrapped around the thing and then broke so that he would chase him. How does she get someone to be possessed? I don't understand. And then she did the same thing with the other girl's hair. She used the yellow hair to get Wong to go chase her. And then at the end, the kid does that with the kids to go chase.
Maybe we've missed something. I feel like
I don't know how they possess.
No. She has to have something that belongs or is part of them. So with the kids, it was their name tags that they'd all touched.
Oh yeah,
with him. Remember,
the ribbon.
She got his. She got the ribbon which belonged to him, and he'd obviously touched the stuff. So like, he was like, "How did you get my ribbon?" So so like, she needs to have. So like, the way. So basically, she is trying to get enough people to keep her life force going, keep her alive, basically, right? Like, she's clearly like disintegrating in front of us, and she gets Alex to steal something from all the kids. And there's that great scene where he's looking at them all going like, "Oh, what can I steal? What can I steal?"
Yeah.
And it's really obvious, all their name tags. So he takes all the name tags, and that's how she. And then 217, effectively, the twist is that's the time when she possesses them all with the dark magic, and they all run out the house. Really interesting. So according to an interview, there was originally going to be a chapter on Gladys's backstory. Do you think that makes this better or worse?
Probably worse. It's a longer movie. I know what I need to know. She's a
I agree.
witch. She's made some bad decisions.
Agreed.
I wouldn't make them.
I just think the ambiguity around her makes it way more impactful. Makes it way more interesting. Like I don't know what she's capable of. She could snap and do anything at any point. It's phenomenal. Yeah, really good. The Benedict one scene is a bit messed up. Like to say the very least, it's fucked. Like, what are you?
Was his eye were his eyes like fake at one point?
Well, I thought so. It's like I thought at one point he'd like had his. I thought he'd had his eyelids like cut off.
Yeah.
Because so for context, we were just talking about this a minute ago. What happens is
They're
one gets
bulging.
possessed, and he just headbutts his husband to death on the floor, and then you see the crushed skull. It's like, like my brain is fried at this point. But then he runs in that very special way after Julie. So like Gladys obviously wants to kill Julie, so he sends her after her, and that's actually a really interesting scene, the way that like they get away from him, and like they're almost invulnerable except till a car
until they die,
smashes your brain in.
Going, dude.
Yeah, it's super interesting. But that scene where he's forced to kill his husband, where it almost feels like he's sort of cognizant of what he's doing. Brutal. Idiot. That's one of the worst scenes in the movie for me.
For sure.
The scene when you asked me about what the most affecting sort of action you seen was, I think for me, the scene where they're running through the woods and he's been James, the heroin addict's been chased by, originally it's the witch, and then you see
do you think he actually sees the witch, or is that just his psychosis like everybody else?
That's a great question. It's a great, but like what at that point, what connection does he have to the witch? I don't think he has.
He stole some shit from the house.
Had he already been to the house at that point? Okay, cool.
Then
I reckon it's the witch chasing him. I reckon she's just trying to wipe out anyone who might see or know anything about the kids. But that bit where he stabs old Naranike in the face with those needles, man, that is like, and the bit where Paul says to him, like, do you have anything in your pockets? And he's like, no. You're like, don't put your hand in there, dude. Like, there's going to be something in there. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, don't do this.
He has to, though. He's a cop.
I know, but like, it's got to be another way. Pick him up and shake him. That police brutality bit's pretty interesting as well, though. Like, I was interested by...
Just knocks him, dude. Just super angry. Just dinks him.
Smash it. Wow, like, what a way to introduce, like, another theme to the film. It's just...
Then he just, like, sees right there. The guy falls down. The camera's just right on him. He's like, fuck.
Yeah. And then but then it's following it from his perspective as well in just a moment later. Super, super interesting. Really well done. Yeah, I thought the idea of the parents being comatose was an interesting one. And Cregger, who directed the film, actually discussed this. So he grew up with like alcoholic parents, or an alcoholic parent, and that's his inspiration for this film. Like that whole juxtaposition of Alex having to take care of his parents and the flip on the parent-child dynamic of this. That apparently added a lot to the film, and yeah, it's kind of like a face your fears moment. I feel like for him, which pretty horrific and brutal way to grow up.
He's talked a lot about other inspiration. I think someone died that was he was close to. It was part of like the him getting through the mourning of that was like the town going through the mourning. There was one thing we haven't talked about, which was in Josh Brolin's dream.
Yeah,
there's the gun. There's the weapon over. You don't remember that AR-15 with the 217 on it?
There were a couple of guns in this, just randomly.
No, it was like he's in the dream state.
Yeah, it was in the clouds.
What is that? And it's in the clouds. And it's like I was already thinking, like, is this going to be some like meta allegory to like a Columbine, like a child?
Well, there's got to be some in there. Yeah, there's got to be.
He said that it wasn't, but I mean, you don't put that in.
It's subtle. But I feel like there's definitely
it's kind of random almost.
Yeah, school shootings. It feels tacked in a way that can't just be random.
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. I think it sort of adds the supernatural elements, though. Like, did you think the supernatural elements worked? They didn't really explain it, which I kind of liked. Like, you saw how and why, but it didn't tell you like the bigger implications of it all. Like,
I don't like. She's clearly doing Satan seances. That's
Satan seances. That sounds like an app. That sounds like an app for bored housewives.
There's fun. Ouija
Satan
board
seances
included. Yeah.
I think the finale of this then, to wrap things up, is effectively there is a big showdown in the house where Josh Brolin, whose name I still don't remember, and Julie arrive to Archer, that's it. Lana rock up to the house, and shit goes wild. Effectively, they break the kids out. The parents get broken out of their state. Paul and James, who are both at this point comatose, get murdered or killed effectively in the struggle, and then it just goes batshit crazy. And the kids chase. Alex uses the blood magic to make the kids chase the witch and basically rip her into tiny pieces. And I had a question for you about this. So, like,
It was so glorious.
So glorious and so like cathartic. But the implication of this is that they've had so much of their soul sucked out. They're basically zombies at this point. They don't remember anything. Like, their life carries on, but they faculty wise do not. Could you imagine if they did remember and they snapped out of this thing and they just realized they'd ripped a human being to pieces? Like, what?
That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, these poor children. Like,
Me too. I was like, oh my God, what if they...
But I'm glad they didn't go there.
That's like a Simpsons episode. I think that happens in one of the episodes where the kids are all... I think they tear the bee guy to pieces. It must be one of the Halloween episodes. Must be.
Yeah.
The implication there being they would be horribly scarred, right? Horribly
I
scarred.
mean, they already are with this whole thing, apparently. What about the whole beginning where it's like, this is a true story?
Mm.
What do they do it?
Is
what
it?
Are they doing there? Yeah,
is
it's
it?
definitely not.
I wonder if that's I wonder if that's a play on the trope of things saying it's a true story when it's clearly not.
Yeah.
Must be. Do you have anything else to say about the movie? Any final thoughts?
Not really, man. Not really. I liked it. I would say if you like horror movies, watch it. If you're iffy on horror movies, watch it because it's kind of like a dark comedy.
Horror movies.
Horror movies.
Hurry.
If you don't like it, you still might like it. But like, if you don't like horror movies, you still might like it. But you maybe go in knowing
we're not big horror movie guys. There is enough to this film, I think, that will keep you engaged, entertained, and it is it's phenomenal. Like, it is scary. Don't like if you are not 100% a horror person, like my partner, she couldn't have watched this. She would have walked out. Like, if you're that person, don't do it. But if you don't mind a bit of horror, like, this is phenomenally created and a beautiful film. Let's do trivia, true or false. Let's spin that wheel, DL. Ding, 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 ding. This is how we like to wrap up the show. We do trivia, true or false, and I give Drey some IMDb trivia, which may or may not be real. Who knows? It's on there, and it says it's true, just like this movie says it's based on real events. And Drey has to guess whether it is true or if it is false. DL, trivia true, trivia false. To further capitalize on the themes of this movie, some movie theaters only listed showtimes as 2:17. Same time, the children vanish. Is that true or is that false?
That'd be pretty confusing. I'm gonna say false.
It's actually true. Some theaters, I think, for the opening days, just showed it at 2:17, which is wild. It's cool though. It's an interesting little marketing tactic.
Movie theaters aren't making enough money. You cannot compromise yourself that way.
I don't know how well it's did at the box office. I should have checked that beforehand, but it's certainly interesting bit of marketing, if not very effective for selling tickets. Okay, trivia true, trivia false. This is the one we're building up to. This is the big one. So that's 1 to you, by the way. You got the first one right.
Nice.
Zach Cregger's screenplay reveals the inspiration behind the way the kids run, that curious body posture where they have their arms behind them, as being his love of the TV show Naruto, where they run like that. You'll have seen that in the media.
They do. They do.
And its themes of violence and children. Is that true or is that false?
I mean, I can't imagine it's the other thing, so maybe true.
What? There are plenty of other things it could be. You're really projecting onto this right now.
No, it's just that one. There's really not many.
It is actually false. They set to run like the naked Vietnamese girl who's covered in napalm from the iconic photo is the award-winning image, The Terror of War. You remember that picture where she's running away from the explosion. It's grim.
No. Don't.
Just no. That's 1 of 2. Okay, you're not doing too badly. Trivia true, trivia false, DL. For the film's visual style, Zach Cregger was inspired by Denis Villeneuve's film Prisoners. Is that true or is that false?
I think there's some similarities. I'm gonna say true.
It is true. He cited it in a Letterboxd interview, saying the cinematography in Prisoners is gorgeous. He praised the washed out, somber, cloudy, rainy look of the film. I think that's super interesting. Okay, finally, final piece of trivia, true or false, DL. You're wrapping up. You're two for three here. You're doing good. You're doing real good here. You're at 66%. Let's see if we can get it up to 75. According to Cregger, the script was given through the software app Embershot to the studios on January 23, 2023 at 8 a.m. And by 9:30 a.m., Warner Brothers CEO Michael DeLuca had already contacted him to close a deal within an hour and a half of it being submitted to studios. Is that true or is that false? According to IMDb.
It's true. They said there was a battle. I'm assuming there was.
It is true.
It's pretty cool for this guy.
Right. It's clearly a director who is in demand and a script that captured a lot of people. Phenomenal. Really love it. And I love that, you know, what we were just talking about, Denis Villeneuve. If he is your inspiration, like it's doing something pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that is trivia, true trivia, false DL. You got 75% this week. 3 out of 4.
I'm pretty sure I was 2 out of 2, but
that's not bad.
I'll give myself a higher grade.
You called the Naturo run, and I was making shit up for you. So ultimately, for a horror movie, which we're obviously not usually the biggest fans of, this captured me in a way that I wasn't expected to. It was really fantastic. I would absolutely recommend going and checking away this film, DL. Do you want to wrap up the show this week?
Of course, man. Thanks everybody for listening. If you got this far, give us a review. If you didn't, I guess watching. You get to see my boring old face in my boring old room. A big thank you to Matthew Bliss for editing and mastering this week's video episode.
As always.
If you'd like Matt to be part of your podcasting team, get in touch on business@mbpod.com or head to mbpod.com to hear more about his services. If you want to hear his own work, he's got a pod.
He's got a new pod.
Oh, does he? Is it not Coffee with a Podcast?
He has a new pod. Coffee with a Podcast that is evolving. What is his new podcast called? I'm just going to find it for you. His new podcast is called Rethink. That's RE:think podcasting. And it is a diverse set of podcasts introducing different people, different interviewees to talk about the podcasting world. Things we should listen to, because who knows? We're still here somehow after nearly 200 episodes. It's almost our 5th anniversary, DL. It's coming up, baby. It's coming up real fast. But yeah, go check out Rethinking Podcasting with Matt Bliss. I interrupted you. You've lost your chain of thought, clearly.
Yeah, if you want to hear that, though, check it out. Thought pieces, all that good stuff. I think that's all I got, man. Sayonara. Tally ho.
Thank you all for sticking with it. We appreciate you.
And toodaloo.
Tally ho.
Yeah.
Escalate.